Is your hockey team still in the playoffs? Are you worried because you can't grow a playoff beard? Fear not, there's a solution just for you. With Just for Playoffs Beard Enhancer, you'll never have to worry about the lack of facial furniture again. Don't resort to these embarrassing alternatives that put you in the penalty box when you can be the first star of the game. Just for Playoffs Beard Enhancer is scientifically designed to stimulate growth and thickness when your team is ready to make a run in the postseason. Don't wait. Try Just for Playoffs today. Side effects may include dryness, irritation, and jealousy from your friends because your awesome beard. Don't use Just for Playoffs if you're expecting because you're a woman. And it would be weird if a woman grew a beard unless you were joining the circus or the box score, which starts now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score. Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined, of course, by the Danets in Milford. Gentlemen, it was another great series last night with the Lightning. There was hockey last night. Of course, tonight it is basketball. Two series I hope that never, ever end. Paulie is a man that devotes most of his life to viewing sports. Do you feel cheated when a championship series falls flat?
Absolutely. That's actually, it really bums me out when it's a sweep. I hate sweeps. I like 7 because I really don't care. Blackhawks I want to win, but they've won it before, so I just want 7 either way. So especially working what I do for a living, it's a double. As a producer, I want 7 games. As a fan, I want 7 games.
Well, last night, Lightning's late night heroics got them up 2-1 over the Blackhawks. Fritzy, are you surprised with this first 3 games of this series?
Not necessarily. I watch hockey. I follow it about as much as these guys do. I'm certainly no expert, but I thought, I thought I could see this series going 6 or 7 games. But the fact that the Lightning are up 2-1 doesn't surprise me. I got more interested in the bowel issues of Ben Bishop and what his status was going to be in Game 3 than the actual.
It's much more compelling topic. That's for sure.
It really is.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yesterday you guys talked about hanging with Vince Vaughn, how that might be a little bit over the top of the energy and all that. So let me see, Seton, what would be more challenging, watching the Blackhawks with Vince Vaughn or watching Game of Thrones with Perloff?
I'm going to say watching the Blackhawks with Vince Vaughn, and not just because of his energy level, but actually it's more so because I think watching Game of Thrones with Andrew, you sort of need that companion piece to explain what the hell's going on with, gargoyles and wizards and when the dragon and the, Knight of Doting Hill is going to win. You're like, okay, I don't know. Can you explain this with me? I think Andrew would be fun to watch Game of Thrones with and somewhat necessary.
Go ahead. I've watched Game of Thrones probably 6 times. And I like the action. I like the acting. I like everything. I'm like Seton. It's like watching a game of cricket to me. Yeah. I'm like, wow, look at that guy hit the ball and run. I have no idea whose team he's on.
I've watched the first season. Okay, I've seen the whole first season in order. I did it in like a marathon sesh of like 3 days. And I still had no idea what the hell was going on. I'm like, what does this guy mean? And what does this girl mean? And who are all these people? And you're like, what the hell is this?
The show in my house, and I'm not allowed to walk in and ask questions. The Bachelorette is on. I'll do a drive. I'm like, hey, what's this guy's deal? And my wife will just be like, oh God. Too much. She'll take 10 minutes who that guy is, and I'll like completely forget. Walk in 10 minutes later. What a jackass this guy is.
I did a lot of Bachelorette watching last night because it went every intermission, 2 intermissions, we went back to Bachelorette. It was a trade-off for my wife to actually sit and watch hockey, so it worked out.
There's no shame in admitting you watch. Bachelorette's in now. You can watch sports and Bachelorette.
What about Real Housewives? You guys watch that at all?
No, that's pathetic.
Real Housewives of Orange County. I'm big on that. I ask Jen way too many questions, shockingly, and she cannot deal with it while she's trying to explain to me.
Yeah, but you're asking her questions like so. Out of these 2, which one would it be?
I have asked that question.
Right,
what happened to Gretchen? Why is she not on the show anymore?
Let's get back to basketball. LeBron, of course, is trying to take the Cavs all the way back to the promised land, and he might do it now that they're back home in Cleveland. Paulie, what does LeBron have to do to be seen in the same light as Jordan?
Well, it's just impossible. It's like, it's like comparing, I don't know, I shouldn't say impossible. It's not really fair to LeBron. But Jordan is this perfect entity of marketing, performance, timing. Everything went perfect for the timing of Michael Jordan. It was after LeBron, Magic, and Bird, and then he was kind of perfect in his NBA career. I mean, he had very few faults. And to try to compare someone to him is just not possible. It's like a perfect game of baseball, and you get a no-hitter. There's nothing wrong with a no-hitter, but the other dude had a perfect game.
McLovin, what's a bigger surprise to you, the Cavs winning tonight or that Dan has never seen Star Wars?
Oh, I don't know the Vegas odds, but I think the Cavs obviously have a shot. Should have won Game 1. Dan not seeing Star Wars, I'm going to put that up there as one of the 20 most surprising things about Dan. I find Dan a consistently surprising person. Like, it's just like random things he has and has not seen, random things he's not into and he is into. Like him see, if you told me he was going to see Interstellar this week, I'd be like, what are you talking about? But he saw Interstellar.
It took 4 days.
Not seeing Star Wars is weird. I don't get it.
Okay, interesting. Paul, you just touched on this. Dan is a mid-movie stopper, and then he's like, well, I'll go back and watch the rest of it another day. That's an odd behavior to me. That if you're watching a movie for the first time, settle in for the 90 minutes to 2 hours and watch it. You have to consume it all at once.
You want to know what happened.
He's like, I didn't finish it last night. I'm going to pick it up tonight.
What
He
would
does that
what would
often.
make you want to watch the rest of it if you weren't compelled enough, unless there's
Yeah.
something urgent that you had to attend to stop it in
He
the
does
middle?
that
It's only
quite a
an hour
bit.
and a half, 2 hours.
You know, I had a girlfriend once who used to read magazines from the back. Like, she'd pick up a magazine like, I don't know what, Vogue or something, and she'd read it from the back. I'm like, what are
Was
you
she
doing?
Jewish? Because they like to do right to left. So
Yeah,
maybe I don't know if
She was not Jewish.
That's a good question.
But she would read it, and I'm like, how? I go, I thought she was like dyslexic or something. I was like, what's going on here? And she'd read it, and I had to break up with her for that.
just for that.
That's fair, right?
I got to call you out, though.
It
Is
is a
that
little
really
quirky.
analogous to Dan watching half a movie?
But something that's really weird about a person.
Okay.
To read a book, a magazine.
I see it. So it's a quirk. Okay.
Even
I got it.
magazines are kind of in chronological order.
Did you call her out on it? Did she have a valid
Yes. And she
explanation?
goes, no, it's just more my way of doing it. I'm like, that's not a
no,
reason.
that's
It's not
wrong.
a reason.
No, that's wrong.
It's just- I know it's your way of
That's not the way
doing it.
that
I'm
you do
watching
this.
you do it.
Telling you
And was
So I
she
had
just
to break
Stops
up.
Not the
and
way
she
the
starts in the
magazine was
back
meant to
with
be
the Zodiac and then works her way back to the advice column. I was also befuddled by Dan not seeing, of course, Star Wars, but he still does a spot on R2-D2.
What about Star Wars?
No.
You saw it though, right?
I never saw an episode. Never saw an
You've never seen
episode.
Star Wars 1?
I no, I didn't see. I just knew the characters. I'd see a little bit of it, but then like Chewbacca and R2-D2, I'm like, okay.
nerd.
For shame, Dan, for shame. I mean, it's Star Wars, for God's sake. Why can't you take a little time out of your life? All right, coming up, we're playing basketball because it's cold and flu season. That makes sense, right? You know where it's cold? It's up in space. That's where the Millennium Falcon flies around. It was actually based, of course, on the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel, which can climb a hill, tow a boat, and, of course, make the castle run in 12 parsecs. And no, it doesn't need a loan from Jabba the Hutt, and you can get that thing on credit if you want to. I mean, it's beautiful. And it knows the Force, guts, glory, Ram. Oh, Ram.
He's bleeding from his ear and he has concussion-like symptoms. No, that's a concussion. Yes, Paul.
Remember when Jordan had both ears removed during a game and bled from the spleen area?
He had stigmata.
Stigmata.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, the Jordan flu game. The Jordan flu game.
He had sepsis, not the flu. Get it right.
Jordan had gout in both feet and somehow was still able to dominate.
Avian flu.
Yeah.
That just flew.
Welcome back to the box score. We may remember Michael Jordan as the way Dan remembers his own basketball career. It improves and gets better with age. Now, one actual thing from Jordan was his flu game, which was, I think, 18 years ago this Thursday. McLovin, what is the one greatest single game performance you have seen by an athlete?
Wow. First of all, it's amazing that you just mentioned Dan and Michael Jordan's basketball skills in the same sentence.
Nice.
That was pretty good.
They both view their skills similarly.
They do. Yeah, there's actually, that's much more apples to apples than you think at this point.
Okay, best performance I've seen live. I once saw, this is so lame, I saw Isaiah score 24 in the fourth quarter once. Remember how Isaiah would go berserker? So you mean live, right? Because I saw Michael Jordan in the flu game. That was amazing. Or do you mean on TV? Does anyone know?
I thought you meant in person.
In person,
Person,
fine,
yeah,
whatever.
Isaiah.
TV, read about it, drew
Yeah,
about it,
no one
whatever.
cares anyway.
Well, 7 months ago, we saw a less successful flu game. That's when Dan had to leave during the first hour. And Seaton, excluding that game, what is the worst shape Dan has been in while hosting the show?
Man, he's been banged up a few times, but it's always something usually like where he's actually legitimately sick. It's never like a hangover thing or anything like that. He's usually got something going on where he comes in, he sweats like crazy.
Yeah.
You know, Dan is a huge sweater where he like soaks through shirts and stuff and has to keep changing them, and he's like, oh man, I'm in bad shape. And other than that, you can't really tell that he's too roughed up.
There was one a couple years ago where I remember we were just trying to get him segment to segment. And I was like, man, it was back at the old place, I think. I remember he's failing here, but I remember once where he was like going to breaks and going to splash water on his face and sip ginger ale.
The worst one was definitely that New York appearance.
Yeah.
That we were like
scary.
like legitimately concerned about him and tried to get him to go to the hospital a couple times. And we send him away like, you're not allowed to be on the show.
Yeah,
like,
we
you
pulled him off
cannot do
air.
this.
Steve and I talked about that, and the guys, we all talked about it. We pulled him off air because he doesn't want to embarrass himself. And when you're sick and loopy in the head, you don't make the right decision. So we had to make the decision for him, and then we let him walk the streets to the hospital alone, I think.
By the way, worse though is when Fritzy showed up and bled through his shirt the day after surgery. That's probably the most.
Allegedly.
Well, that's the
Fritzy
most,
Schilling
I think that's
over
the most
here.
banged up anyone has ever.
Whatever.
It was a couple days after the surgery.
Whatever. Yeah, it wasn't the next
Dude,
day.
the guy bled through his Oxford shirt.
Whatever.
I can't believe you guys aren't
Big
impressed
deal.
with that.
Well, that's because he didn't have a proper sterile gauze pad there like he was supposed to.
Hey, the doctor's telling me I'm
bad
supposed to wear some
tape
type of
Dude, look at
gauze.
that. That's crazy, dude. The guy was shot in the stomach and he showed up at work.
Yeah, that
Dude,
shouldn't
it's
be happening.
Raspberry
That can't be a
jelly
good idea.
from a.
From a donut?
From a jelly donut? I don't know if they offer those on Nutrisystem. Hey, Todd, Todd's working on his own game, his flu game right now, working through the pain. Earlier, the guys were giving you trouble about faking it. Are you also now suffering from a broken heart?
It's a little upsetting. I know their hearts are in a good place. We all like to kibitz and tease each other, and you know. And then there's am I adding to my not feeling well because it was one of those rare, unfortunate one guest days? So am I covering it up as some kind of excuse? If I'm not feeling well, they'll harp on the fact that we just had Pat Forty on the show today. But truth be known, I got up about 4 o'clock in the morning with some with chills and headaches, and just wasn't.
Why'd you come in?
Right.
Why didn't you stay home? That sounds like a stay-home situation.
Yeah, but I didn't feel that sick where I couldn't get in the car and come to work. And I figured let me get in, and if as the morning progresses, even though it's a long ride for all of us, then I could always bail in the middle. But I felt okay enough to at least get dressed and drive in and then play it by ear. So.
Paul, you're no stranger from powering through the pain. You've taken more shots from all the pro football players, more than anyone else on this show. What is the one injury that still gives you trouble on a cold day?
Oh, the stupidest injury. I twisted my knee helping my sister move a couch. I had to have freaking surgery because of it. It's the stupidest injury. And the doctor did.
That's the worst.
Yeah, I don't remember. I was getting like my knee drained every week for about 2 months. The doctor goes, I got to cut this meniscus or whatever. And he cut it, and it still just aches a little bit and has a little like give to it. It's not that bad, but it's like the stupidest injury. I was like literally moving a couch with my sister. Week.
Well, as long as it looks nice where it's at. Okay, the injury that always bothers me, of course, is the rock squatch explosion. It hurts, especially today since it's raining. Coming up, who knows who? We'll find out next. We're back here on the box score. Last night I saw the movie trailer for Pixels, and you guys looked amazing. Actually, I'm not sure I saw you. No, okay, I didn't. Maybe the next one. Okay. Anyway, you guys are sort of budding actors in your own right, but we wondered what movie you would want to play the lead in. Any movie in history, doesn't matter. Sounds like a perfect opportunity to play.
No! Your row!
Oh, let's begin with the back row. McLovin, what movie in all of cinematic history did Fritzy want to star in?
Not that kind of movie.
There's so many Emmanuels. to
Yeah,
choose
Emmanuel
from.
6 in space.
I'm gonna go move in for a steal here too if I can after you're done.
Okay, well, I'm thinking, obviously, Fritzy only witnessed movies from the years 1978 through 1984.
Pretty accurate.
So it's got to be, I'm going to go with Rocky.
If it's not the kid from Private Lessons with Sylvia Crystal, Todd's lying.
Or Josh
Okay.
Wolf's rolling grease.
Was it Rocky?
Or
Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever.
Love to be the lead character in Rocky. That's just Rocky Balboa. I just love those movies. A close second, not that you asked, Jack Nicholson in The Shining, but Rocky Balboa would be a great character to be.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Well done, champ. Really
Flying high now.
Oh,
Favorite actor
congratulations there. All right, front row, Seaton. Which leading role did Paulie want to have?
Leading role. Ooh.
I'm going to say there's a little bit of a trick. I'm going to need a little latitude here with this one. I'm going to say, Paul, since it's such a Chicago-heavy movie, and I feel like it probably had a big impact on him as a child or a young adult, whatever it came out. I'm going to say it'd be one of the Blues Brothers.
God, that's a great guess.
That is a great guess. Is he right?
The Ray Liotta character in Goodfellas.
You know, if we hadn't just been watching Blues Brothers about 30 seconds before we started the show, I would have never guessed that. And probably would have gone with Goodfellas. Yeah. But what are you going to do?
The Blues Brothers.
Think about it. If I had it, Brock, I got to tell you, if I had a do-over there, I might have gone Chicago and gone to Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, Ferris.
Oh, Ferris Bueller's a good one, yeah.
You know, you look up to people in the movies.
What an idol.
Like, you look up to certain people.
Icon.
But I actually looked up to him as an actual role model.
Yes.
The way he hustled his way through life and avoided responsibility, he's an icon. He's literally my role model.
I so badly wanted a keyboard so I could do the throwing up sound, like the cough and the throw. I wanted that so bad.
All right, to the Sausage King of Chicago, Fritzy, what role did McLovin want?
I hope it's not some like Water for Chocolate kind of one of those indie movies.
Yeah, you're probably in the right genre.
What was the Richard Gere movie where he's like having sex with all the women?
American Gigolo?
Yes, I'm going to say Richard Gere, American Gigolo.
Is that what you want?
That's what I want too, but I'm hoping that he may have.
All right, projecting himself onto McLovin's answer. Was it American Gigolo?
I'd probably want to be the lead character in Top Gun, mostly for the volleyball scene. I have no idea. You caught me on a weird day. A weird
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, do I want to go shirtless and wearing jeans on a beach volleyball court? Yes. But I don't know why I said that.
You had a chance to experience that, and you chose not to.
We were on the.
I wanted to
go
play
beach volleyball.
I wanted to go Missy May on you guys, and Fritzy was all selfish and slammed every ball home.
You were really trying to pass to each other. That was so weird.
Was so bad.
Just get it
It's not
over.
weird. That's how you play beach volleyball. You pass.
That was so weird.
And I gave up.
You're
and I
setting
just
up
started,
spikes.
It was my form of chucking it. Once I realized I wasn't getting it done.
Then I realized any sport you're playing with, Todd will never pass you the ball. Ever.
I like my stats.
Sorry, incorrect, McMaverick. And finally, Paulie, which movie role did Seaton want to star in?
You know, I've been thinking about this for the past 3 minutes, and I have no freaking idea. So I'm going to go just for the entertaining, funny answer of Christian Slater's role in Gleaming the Cube.
You got to be kidding me. Is he right?
Possibly the worst skateboarding movie of all time. I'd want to be Christian Slater in Gleaming the Cube.
Wow.
Oh,
Dude,
whoa!
that is call of the century.
Hell yeah!
Holy crap.
That's insane.
That is call of the century.
That was my first thought. The instant thought was like, all right, Seaton loves skateboarding, and that movie was really cool because Christian.
That was right in my.
Hawks in that movie.
Oh,
I
dude.
mean, he was a pizza delivery boy.
Mike McGill.
And I thought about it as a
Lance
joke.
Mountain.
And then I thought about it for a second, and there's no other skateboarding movies in the top 10.
Right.
Well,
Appeal,
Seaton, wasn't there another movie? Was there like
why
a
is
movie
that?
called Rad with Josh Brolin?
Yes.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know that
Dude,
either, Rad.
Brock,
Gleaming the Cube
we
is
are
where
filing
it's
an official appeal of that entire shenanigans that we just witnessed there.
Are you accusing me of cheating?
I'm accusing you. I mean, yes. There's no ambiguity. I want Ted Wales down here doing a report on how Paulie got Gleaming
It's
the
just two
Cube.
coworkers that know each
That's
other.
just people who actually know each other.
Friends.
That's all that is.
All right.
That's called
Ted Wells,
bromance.
get that mustache down here. I sense a Know Your Row gate coming up. There's
Okay,
no
we'll put
way.
the I-team on it. Right now, it's a tie, so good for both of you. This is the box score, and of course, we are taking a break from these shenanigans to remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, doesn't need one. And it always knows the answer. And the answer was, of course, Gleaming the Cube. Oh my God, what a great movie. A Guts, Glory, Ram, Kick Ollie.
People are turned off by the game. It's been slow, it's ugly, it's unskilled, it's way too physical, and the advantages have gone way too much to the defense. And so, you know, they're going to try to clean it up, and I applaud them. I think it had to be done. They weren't just satisfied with a little change here, a little change there. This is not a nip and tuck. This is a big set of changes that college basketball has passed here, and if the officials call it the way it should be called, and the coaches don't lose their minds when they call it the way it should be called, we're going to have a lot freer, cleaner game.
Welcome back to Box Score. We're closing up shop here at the Saloon. Fritzy booking the ever-dynamic Yahoo Sports Pat Forty, and he came on today to talk about the changes being made to college basketball, including the 30-second shot clock and, of course, fewer timeouts. McLovin, how badly were these changes needed?
Jeez, I really don't care, bro.
During the break, you missed something, Broccoli. The back row, both when I asked who thought Seton and I cheated in the Gleaming the Cube answer, both people, including Fritzy, raised their hand and said, we cheated. Brock, do you think we cheated?
No, I don't think you cheated. I think that was an amazing know your row. I mean, to pull Christian Slater out of the atmosphere and to say that Gleaming the Cube, which was, of course, the far superior movie to Rad and Josh Brolin. I mean, because everyone knows that Kristen Cavallari did all those stunts. I mean, Brolin couldn't do a Christ dare if you held a gun to his head. So I think you guys are completely honest and truthful in your answer.
Hey, thank you, Brock.
Thanks, Brock.
All right, McLovin, let's get back to you. You hate college basketball. Anyone else want to answer that? Okay, that's fine. Let's go on to the next one. With pro baseball and college hoops implementing rules to change the speed of their games, Seton, what sports need to be tightened up the most?
Of those two, okay, I'll tell you one. I would really like to see, because I love the game so much, which is odd that I want to change, but I would like to see soccer shrink the size of the pitch, if it were. And I think that if you didn't spend 95% of the game in the middle where nothing is happening and actually got to shoot, say, as much as hockey, I think it would really improve the game.
All right, speaking of soccer, Fritzy, are you checking out any of the ladies' soccer? Anything of note on that?
I did. I went back and forth. I was disappointed not to see as much of Alex Morgan as I was hoping. I thought it was some kind of ploy. I thought they were just trying to trick the Australians and say that, Alex wasn't going to play, then ultimately she would. But I'll be trying to check that out Friday night for their next game, I think, against Sweden. And I watched actually a good portion. I think I watched just as much of women's soccer as I did of the hockey, going back and forth between Lightning Blackhawks and women's soccer. I was watching with my son. He's gotten a lot more into soccer in the last year or two, so I would say it was probably a push between how much of each sport that I was watching.
Are you concerned about the Swedish team?
I'm a little concerned about the Swedish team, the Swedish fish, as I like to call them. I don't know what that means. Sweden,
because Sweden's known for some lookers. So are you going to be a true patriot and root for our girls?
I will
I'll
ultimately root for the Team USA, but I'd be lying if I wasn't.
Are you going to have a handball during the game, if you know what I mean?
Oh.
Gross. Gross.
Call for
And a
handball?
bowl of cheese doodles.
That's a red card, Paul, on you.
It is a red card.
We're all thinking it. Does it bend like Beckham?
I'll go on to that.
Yeah, it's Peyronie's disease. All right, Fritzy, who is on tomorrow?
Warriors assistant coach Luke Walton is expected to join us. Rich Eisen will be with us, and Ryan from $1 Million Listing New York City. We'll put him on the spot and find out why he blew off our esteemed host Dan Patrick in the city.
Yeah, explain yourself, Ryan. That's all tomorrow, Dan Patrick. We're back with the Box Score tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Of course, if you're out and about, iTunes, and what else has the podcast? Oh, yeah, podcast1.com. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!